welcome back to the Titan series, ladies, gents, and non-binaries. I'm Chuck. I'm gonna be your lovely host for today, and we're here with our first of two semifinals matchups. But before I introduce you guys to the team, let's introduce you guys to the talent who's gonna be covering the action for today, and also joining me on this beautiful, beautiful desk. It's gonna be Reprints and Retro. And before we get into today's matchup, how are you guys doing?
I am director
Hello,
muted, I think.
everyone. What? Who's? Oh, I'm.
I don't
Yeah.
think I can talk. I'm director muted, Eps. My video ninja audio isn't going through.
Well, okay. I'll start with Reprints. How are you doing, Reprints?
Can I be heard on stream?
I think so.
Okay, because it's telling me that it's not, so I'm just a little confused. All right. I mean, first of all, glad to be here with the two of you. Have made acquaintances with both of you before. Been ages since I've worked together at Chaka. I think that was Playleaks production, long time ago. And Retro has had the pleasure of casting me, and I've had the pleasure of listening to that play-by-play. And now we finally get to cast together, and I'm happy that we've arranged that constellation.
Yeah, thank you for the compliments, and I'm very excited to be here alongside you guys. I'm very excited to be in Talent League. It's my debut here. Very exciting. The atmosphere here is buzzing, and I absolutely cannot wait for this matchup. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, for your first game in Talent League, for your
Yeah.
first game in the Titan series, it's going to be between BE Sports versus Make Your Destiny, the Hungarians versus the French. And of course, Make Your Destiny have a history here in the French league, or not the French league, sorry, in the in the Talent League, and or in yeah, with their players. And then for BE Sports, obviously Hungarian team played it across the Hungarian nationals. But actually, I'm getting word in my ear that the game is starting, so we're just gonna throw it straight to game, guys. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Chuck. We'll see you after the game, I guess. But here we go. We're in it. We're in it to win it. Um, just making sure. Yeah, I think so. Um, the game is a go.
All right.
Yeah,
We
okay.
have the first bands coming
Like,
in. Clubhouse going to be the opening map, and first band taken out. Make Your Destiny. They decide to take out the Nook, a very useful roamer lurker, somebody that can be used on attack in a similar way that you would use Cav or maybe Vigil on defense. It's gotten more and more popular as the attacking side has gotten a little, I think, more closely aligned with how the defense plays. I think we've taken some of the asymmetry out of the game over the recent few metas. Second ban coming in, Thatcher. I mean, on Clubhouse, that's something you would expect. You would expect a hard breacher or something that is working around walls.
mhm.
Their second ban, Solus, also getting taken out. Again, very strong operator, one of the few operators on defense in the recent few seasons that has been added. All of them very powerful. I mean, you look at Azami, you look at Solus, all of them very powerful. Last ban coming in, Make Your Destiny, they take out Kide. All right, so the Thatcher Kide combo, both out of play. That's going to make playing around walls a little different, as there is that combo taken out. So we'll maybe see a Maverick, or potentially at least some Impact EMPs, or maybe some nades from verticals. We'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be very exciting to see how these teams fare up against each other and how they use certain utility and what they come up with. We already see Fiasco picking onto the Bandit, of course, with the Cade band. They're gonna have to make changes and gonna have to find some workarounds against the hard breachers of which
Defenders,
there are
protect your
many. None
bombs
of
from
them
being
have been
defused by
banned.
attackers.
Sometimes we have in the past seen the Hibana or the Thermite get banned. Sometimes even the Ace because of how strong that hard breach potential is in this map. And we're definitely going to be looking to prevent as much of that happening in the game. But right off the bat, they are going to see cash room as their primary site, which I don't know about you, Reprints, but it's a pretty unusual sight to see recently, and especially as that primary pick. What do you think made that decision?
10 seconds left
Well, I
before
mean,
insertion.
certainly there has to
Attackers
be
have located a
some
bomb.
thought around banning Kide.
5 seconds
I mean,
remaining.
Thatcher's on the board, so bandit tricking is something that you're most likely to be focusing on. You can see that Dodo
Attackers
has chosen
objective.
to take the Maverick as well, so already some of the assumptions I've made for these ban coming through. It's still an interesting side to pick. I mean, Asami's open, you can hold Garage fairly easily. The Fenrir's in play as well. Gets tagged up by a bit of team damage very early on. That's quite unfortunate. But we move, nobody dead. I guess we can get over it. We just ignore that one. And so now we'll see how Maverick is going to play against the Bandit. Just have 3 people over on that main breach. So right now the plan for me is to just go aggressively to get that main wall open, using that soft breach in combination with the Maverick, just making that wall soft. And that's not really something that you can counter with the Bandits. I'm not really sure what Make Your Destiny's approach is here, other than, of course, this is taking a lot of time. Maybe that's the idea behind the CC defense here.
Yeah, that might be it. Definitely, and we already see the Bandit, or so we see the Fenrir lurking. Sorry, I saw the MP7, got a little bit excited. But we see the Fenrir lurking down below as well. Could be going for maybe a run out, or the first kill already came up. I do apologize, my stream is a little bit behind. But the first kill did come up here. B with the opening pick onto Dodo, so that is now the Maverick off the board, and they're not going to be able to do any more hard breaching for the rest of this round. They're going to have to rotate around and find workarounds against that.
Well, I was wondering what the plan was, and I think this might be it. Just a challenge for Maverick. You take out the hard breach, suddenly they can't get the wall open, and so everything that B wanted to do hinged on getting that wall open first, and then everything else, but they failed at step 1. So Make Your Destiny, they have man advantage. They have that wall closed. There's a few holes there, but there's not really much that you can do with it. And so the timer just keeps ticking lower and lower. There's no garage control inside just yet for B, and Loki's just gonna play around this Raptor staircase. Play around Raptor's 90. There's some util coming out now, but to me, they're struggling to find an approach towards it.
Yeah, they're really struggling now. There's so much still just waiting for them. That even if they manage to clear out this player on the Raptors, they're still going to be struggling to find themselves an entrance into the bomb site. And of course, reloading the Jaeger ADSs, they can regenerate and capture even more of that utility, which they are now coming very short on. Only 2 of those frag grenades still left in pocket of Onyx. 35 seconds to go. They're pushing up these rapid stairs, but they're still there up top. Still challenging onto them. Kills coming out from both sides.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. 50 seconds left. 10 seconds left.
Yuma gets another, it's a 1v2 for Haribo suddenly, and Yuma gets another one as well. There we go, he takes out both. Make Your Destiny's defense ultimately works, despite losing garage control. They're able to close out the first, and also that CC side with that fourth Maverick pick. And so, they take the lead very early on here.
Yeah, they take that very early lead. Something that I may or may not say is a little bit expected, just considering that it is Clubhouse, which sometimes does tend to be a little bit defender-sided, so you do expect the defense to win it. But still, I think that everything about that hinges on the fact that they lost the Maverick immediately. They were just not able to recover from that at all. They weren't able to gain the garage control that they needed. They were not able to really push from the backside either. They were already on time, and then at that point, over before it was really begun.
Yeah, I mean, that Maverick was definitely a big hit, not bringing any secondary hardness, not finding a way to deal with that bandit properly. It just, like I said, it fails at step 1, and really good effort with the adaptation that B took in the middle of the round. It took them a moment until they were finally able to adapt. And I think I've lost the feed now, as we're speaking of that, but... in the meantime, I mean, we can continue talking through the round. Just B tried making an adaptation. They went for garage. They did ultimately get garage control. The cost was too high. There was a lot of trades going on. They made sure to not slip up anywhere too extremely, so they were able to keep the man count somewhat even. They were able to find trades where they needed to, and so they were able to close out that round. Just force B through a choke point through that garage window into CC, and so Make Your Destiny, I think, going according to plan at the moment.
Definitely going according to plan, and that plan is furthering on as they picked onto the gym bedroom site, which also tends to have a pretty high defense percentage.
Activating summer sequence.
but this is exactly what I was talking about. That double hard potential is very, very strong on this map, and especially this site where a lot of teams do that sort of extension all the way into the classroom, CCTV. And this is exactly what we see from them here with the frost and everything over on that side, the Azami, or the keep up areas rather. And Mary getting challenged a little bit here inside of the bathroom and having to move away from that wall as it gets breached open by the base charge.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the plan was for Make Your Destiny there. I mean, I could see that Loki was trying to shoot off that Selma as soon as that impact EMP came through, but he didn't do it in time, so the mirror window's gone. They keep a buried over it. I'm not sure what the approach was, as Fiasco was actually able to get the opening pick. He takes on Hazar. Playing on that Dokkaebi, not able to find any impact with those calls, taken out relatively early on, as now have the sledge getting Baby Shark as well, so a trade coming through. We're suddenly in a 4v4. And a little bit of control gained. We have CC control now for the attackers. And a nade from down below, maybe some info as well. Yuha might get taken down. No, the nade doesn't connect onto him. It's a little bit off. So the information has to be regained by B if they want to find something with the second nade. There's still one more in pocket. Garen has already used both of his. Now trying to nade that other mirror window. The nade coming through. He's going to get the mute jammer, but nothing more than that. Fiasco's in a different spot. Haribo takes some damage as well. Now, a little bit of stalling from B. They're not sure where to find their next pick. They're not sure how to approach the site now.
Yeah, they do seem a little bit lost with 50 seconds still on the clock. They look like they're going to be trying to challenge in through the construction side of the map, maybe. A little bit of a challenge coming out from inside of the Logi office as well, as Fiasco is challenging onto that.
Oh no. Oh no, Haribo gets taken down in a team kill. Yuha is able to find one more before Haribo finally trades back onto Fiasco. So they finally gained logic control. They finally dispatched that player, but at the cost of 2 of their own. And so with 20 seconds left, Haribo now has to jump in. He chooses to go for the gunfight, which makes him end up in the frost mat. As now the sledge is in on top main. He's able to find one onto Loki, but there's not much time left on the board. He's gonna push himself into side, but there's 2 players he has left to contend with. And he doesn't have access to the diffuser either, as there's a C4 coming out, and it connects onto him as well, and Make Your Destiny. They win their second round. Quick pause being called by B, having some issues.
Yep, having some issues, and I think, well, they might be having issues in the game sort of overall, but definitely not in the matchup as they take their second round, and or I meant MYD, of course. I really do apologize again. The feed is a little bit scuffed for me, so I really cannot say too much about what happened there. But it was again B just getting a little bit. They had that initial push, that initial pressure, but then they sort of, after that losing that first pick, they went into a sort of a stalemate with their opponents, and they weren't able to recover from that. And that is exactly what happened in the first round. Of course, the first round is a little bit more forgiving as they did lose the most crucial operator in that entire lineup, of that being the Maverick, of that being the hard breacher. They weren't able to really get themselves an entrance point anywhere. But in that second round, I felt like, they, even though they lost that opening pick, they still had so much utility and so much to work with that they just weren't able to capitalize off of any of that, of those grenades missing the players, and likewise the utility that they were trying to clear. Them stalling, being a little bit lost, maybe not really sure what to do, definitely contributed to that. And well, hopefully after this little bit of a pause, and hopefully in the next round, they're going to be a little bit better for where in the upcoming rounds.
Yeah, I think so far good approaches. Good approaches out of Make Your Destiny, just finding defensive setups and then just interfering with whatever attacking strategies came through over on B's side, and so they make them stall heavily in the mid round immediately. And so far everything going according to plan. It's a little scrappy here and there, but ultimately I think Make Your Destiny are putting up a really high price for every frag that they give away, for every single control of a room that they lose. They either have a lot of time wasted, or they get some kills, or at least some favorable trades. And so every single time so far, they've been comfortably on top, and we'll have to see something different out of B. I mean, of course, now we're going to the tertiary site. Once all of our tech issues, both on their side and on our side, are resolved. Just a few problems here at the moment.
Yeah.
Once all of that is resolved, we'll get to see the third bomb site, the third pick for Make Your Destiny, and the question is, do they have something else for that as well? They are going to their rounds go. I mean, at the moment, they can just continue their rotations. It's been going pretty well so far. But
Yeah.
if we go to basement, the question is there anything that B can bring to switch this up? Is there a way that B can punish early aggression from Make Your Destiny? Because right now that is hitting them really, really hard.
Yeah, that is definitely the question to answer, and hopefully they are able to regain their balance a little bit here. I think because it's the tertiary side and the side that Make Your Destiny want to play the least, then hopefully they're gonna be able to find a little bit more of a footing there, just because it's a site that might be a little bit less prepared than other sites, might be the one that they play the least. So hopefully for their sake, they're going to be able to find more success on that one.
All right, we're back in the game. We will need to do a sync check at some point, but for now we're going in, and as I had predicted, we're going to the basement. So Make Your Destiny choosing to continue the rotation of some of the most favorable bomb sites, not choosing to go to that bar stage, which, I mean, it's become a really strong and favorable bomb site for the defenders, but there's a lot of different things that you need to do, and it relies heavily on top control. They'd rather go into the basement, especially with that mirror open. You can see them playing it here. They're playing it over on short side on bottom main. And they're also playing one on blue as well. US just now setting that up. So as we move into the round, the question is B going to lose somebody early? Is B going to be able to punish what Make Your Destiny is doing? Is Make Your Destiny going to do anything? Because at the moment it looks like they're all in the basement. They're not really choosing to go for any of these fights. They might rely on B going for a heavy roam clear and just wasting their own time at the moment. So right now it seems like Make Your Destiny have a good read and B need to pick up the pace on this top floor clear.
I apologize. I can't really help you too much about what's happening currently, as I'm not able to even look at the stream at the moment. It's just some technical issues. I apologize to both you and to the stream. But yeah, hopefully they're going to be able to a little bit more success with that coming on further into this round. And here we go.
Right. We're about a
sorry.
minute into the round now. Yuha, again, just holding positions. Hunter making some long angles up above using that buck. And so now B, they've gained complete control of the map up above. Everybody on Make Your Destiny is just down below, shooting some holes into the ceiling, trying to see if they can get some picks anywhere, just getting the hatches open, going through the motions right now. But that has to lead somewhere. At the moment, Make Your Destiny not looking to punish anything, so they're giving B the room to just start setting up for an execute. And the question is, where does that interruption come in? Because so far MYD, they've interrupted them every single time. They've not let them execute properly. And if they let them execute properly, B might be able to come out on top this time around. So just getting into positions, just playing the game slowly. Not a whole lot happening. Just seeing what they can deal with, seeing what mirror windows they can take out. At the moment, just stalling a lot, gaining information. And
yeah,
blue control. Hatch open now as well.
Hatch open. Minute to go still. Still a 5v5. This is something that is very characteristic for Clubhouse, and especially this bomb site, where teams sort of just end up in a stalemate for the majority of the round, and then a big collapse happens at the end of the round once the attackers are all in position. And here we go. That is beginning now as Dodo goes down to Fiasco. That is the Habana, but not before her damage has already been done to open up those hatches and to open up a certain lines of sight that they needed. But Yuha is there with another one of the Huzzer. 20 seconds to go. Another one will fall. Hunter can't do anything, and it's all down to Haribo. The Ash diffuser is not in their control anymore, and the flawless round for Make Your Destiny to put them up 3 rounds in this matchup so far. B are just not having any sort of luck, and again, it's losing that opening pick and just not being able to recover. Of course, this time it was a completely different scenario to what we've seen before, because it wasn't, right off the bat that they lost their opening pick and that they weren't able to recover because they didn't have the utility necessary or what may have you. It was in that collapse, they just weren't able to really, I guess, communicate with each other where the angles were that the defenders were holding, and they didn't have enough of a presence together as a team to really counter that, and it was it went the way of Make Your Destiny once again.
All right. So just continuing the rotation, and actually continuing the rotation onto the 4th bomb side. They're choosing to go over to bar bomb side and bar stage as well, bringing out a Maestro for plant denial. bringing out a Rooney mute. There's some C4s in pocket as well. Loki and Yoha both bringing a C4 each. And so they're looking to play all of their strats. I think MYD, they're just going through every single thing they have in the book right now to bring against B because everything has worked. So just continue going through it. And just don't do the same thing twice, because then you give B an option to adapt. You give B a chance to get into this game. And if you just keep switching up what you're doing, it's going to be incredibly difficult for B to find a rhythm, for B to find any form of just motivation into this game, any form of momentum to carry through into a round win or two on this first half. And so Make Your Destiny looking to make a statement, looking to shut them out. Loki, very aggressive. Trying to go for a run out. C4 comes out. Ooh. Doesn't connect onto anybody. Okay. Nobody was on that roof. C4 used early. He does fall back now. And so within 30 seconds, there's a C4 used. No damage done. And B, again, just going for a very slow approach.
Yeah, B, again, very, very slow with the way that they're doing it so far. The same exact thing has been happening, but this time they're being very, very active with those drones. They're getting those drones in, finding out as much information as they can about Make Your Destiny, and also taking up space, already breaching this strip wall and pushing into that side. Garage control already taken by Garen as well. And there goes the opening pick again, going the way of Make Your Destiny's. Baby Shark swings onto Hazard. Of course, his damage has already been done onto those walls, but again, losing that opening pick and losing that first player could be damaging again for B Esports, who've just not been able to regain control after losing that opening pick.
Yeah, at the moment I'm noticing B just stumbling their way into a lot of very powerful sidelines over on the side of Make Your Destiny. They're setting up for B to walk into these long sidelines that are really not favorable to the defenders, and they're really clamping down on them, as Lasmo is also able to get a pick onto Haribo, making it even worse. And yet again, it looks like Make Your Destiny are going to end this round before it has even started. They're just slowly whittling away at B while they're just trying to approach into some sort of map control inside the building. Fiasco gets another onto Dodo. And Make Your Destiny is just, they're making a mockery of B. They're sweeping them out of this map at the moment. Yuha gets another as well. It's a 1v5 again. It was a flawless round last time. It's a flawless round again as Fiasco takes down the last. And so B not able to find any footing in this game so far.
Yeah, they're really not able to find any footing or any balance. They keep having the same exact issue of being very slow in their approach, and then not really being able to capitalize off of any utility that they might have, or because they do oftentimes die with a lot of utility still left in pocket, a lot of flashes, a lot of frag grenades still left to deploy. They don't use that, even though they spend so much time droning out and finding out a lot of this information, and that really is hurting them. But I think the overwhelming factor here is that Make Your Destiny are just playing the waiting game. They're not really being over aggressive. They're not really being, unexpected or unpredictable. They are just playing their positions, playing their angles, and esports are just happening to walk into their crosshairs. So Make Your Destiny hasn't really had to put up that much of an effort. They can just win these rounds outright. And now with the timeout from the esports after they have lost 4 consecutive rounds, hopefully that will help resolve some of those issues, whether it's a communication issue between the team or something worse about them not understanding how to really counter Make Your Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, it's of course not a good situation for B to be in, but I still think that this is a pretty decent time to take your timeout, because you've seen every single bomb set from these guys, and you have 2 more rounds in this half to turn it around. You have 2 rounds now to get something on the board, to get yourself into some comfort zone, and then you can coast it out on the defense. If you can just get these next 2 rounds, you're back in the game, and none of the first half of the game will really matter to you, because you can just focus on your defenses. You can play even better than Make Your Destiny did on their defensive half, and you can still win out this game. But so I really like the timing of the timeout. It's not really too late, it's not too early. You've seen every setup that they've done, and so Make Your Destiny have to bring either a wildly different setup, or B is going to find a way to counter it. And so
yeah.
I'm curious for this round, because this is going to be a turning point. If B can finally enter the game here, it's not too late yet. But when we're looking at a 5-0, I think that's when we really see B shut out of the game, even if they win their last attack.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think, that 4-2 split is really what makes or breaks the game for most teams, because you just really need that footing of where, okay, I lost 1 round in the second half, I still have another buffer before my enemies go into match point. So if you don't have that buffer, that makes it so much harder to the point where you have to be flawless and you cannot allow them to get put onto match point, because then they can, you know, be a lot more unpredictable and a lot more aggressive and just force you into certain positions. But here we go, B getting very, very aggressive, and Dodo will pick up the first kill into Baby Shark. Good use of that drone, good use of knowledge, and just realizing, okay, I'm the only person here, I'm gonna have to be the one to swing it. And you know, a lot of the times you wouldn't really be putting your Thermite, your support player into that position, but good read from Dodo, knowing that he has to take up that space and knowing that he has to try and get that frag, and it worked out perfectly for him as well. C4 will come up from Losmo, but it will not catch anybody. It drops away down into the basement to try and go for a late flank, or just to try to return to site safely without really being taken down.
All right, this is different. We're seeing something different out of B. They've found an opening pick. That's the first time in this game that they were the ones to come away with the opening kill. And so maybe a little bit of a difference showing up now. They've seen how Make Your Destiny play this site. They've seen how Make Your Destiny play every site on this map. And they've struggled to go up against it. But now they have man advantage. They have a little bit of time to work around. They found some early aggression, a good pick onto a player that was not expecting it. And Fiasco nearly connecting onto the player outside on Highway. A little difference in movement, and Hazar maybe would have died there, as Yuha takes a bit of damage to the impact of the teammate trying to impact check. Loki, he gets a C4 kill. That's one more C4 used. Still one more in pocket for Yuha though, and so Make Your Destiny making good use of their utility. With 50 seconds, timer ticks low again, and this is where I'm worried for B again. But no, I don't have to be. There's a nade kill, and Haribo gets one onto Lasmo as well, and suddenly we're in a 4v2. Big advantage for B, and with 40 seconds, they can comfortably look to get a setup into sight going through. Now some flashes coming through, logic control being gained. Loki is pincered inside of Gem, and so is Yuha on that construction door. He's going to be challenged in a moment. No, he goes for a challenge himself, doesn't connect onto the ace, now gets caught in a crossfire, as Loki's able to find one, but he'll have to find 3 more, and not going to be able to as Garen finds it, and there we go. B have finally entered the game.
B have finally entered the game, and they finally got themselves a round on the board. It was on the secondary bomb site, so it was a site that Make Your Destiny were quite comfortable with and quite confident on. So that is definitely a very, very good sign for B to get a round win on that particular bomb site. And now with Make Your Destiny going back down into the basement, it is the site where B had the strongest chances of winning before eventually just falling apart, because they had the crosshair set up, they had the angles covered, they had the entrances set up, they were pretty much perfect in their setup, and then it was just the execution where they failed at. So now this is a redo and a really, really good opportunity for them to put another round on the board, to get that 4-2 split, which is pretty much ideal if you cannot get anything better. And it will put them in a much better position into the next half, sure they actually get it.
All right, but if they want to make true on that statement, if B want to get back into this game, get that 2-4 half, get those 2 attacking rounds, which you kind of need if you want to be competitive on Clubhouse. You want to win at least 2 rounds, no matter which half you're on. And so if they want to make true on that statement, they have to break Make Your Destiny's defense here on basement. The last time we were down here, the last time Make Your Destiny defended this, it was a flawless round. MYD just completely rolled over B simply by holding their angles properly, simply by playing their setups correctly and letting B walk into their guns. And so it's up to B to change what they're doing, otherwise B is going to fall apart here.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a possibility for that to happen, and they've already taken up space inside of Garage, so that tells me that they've learned a little bit something about wasting too much of their time. But there's 2 players playing upstairs. One of them is in a prone position that might get misdroned. It does so often, and another player being a little bit more aggressive. That will be Fiasco on the Azami, just playing around with these angles, trying to maybe that early opening pick yet again for his team. Meanwhile, Esports trying to challenge onto these positions and trying to clear out these roamers as quickly as possible, as a minute has already gone, and they haven't really made too many advancements, especially with those kills. But now, as that clone gets shot out, they are aware there's a player definitely playing upstairs, and they're going to be challenging onto it even more so than before.
Yeah, some info gained onto the player on top, but he continues moving around. Might get caught out by Dodo now, though. There we go. Dodo finds the opening pick, cuts off that player's rotation. as he's moved himself inside of Jim while there was nobody noticing. But the problem is Lasmo's still up there. You said misdroning, it happens a lot. And if they're not making sure they're droning out behind this toilet, they're not making sure they're droning showers completely and thoroughly, that is going to cost them heavily, because Make Your Destiny up until this point have played a very standard game, but you have one rat position out in the very last round of their defense. And so, if they can make it work with that, as Loki gets a C4 kill as well, equalizing the man count, suddenly, this looks like Lasmo could be a big factor in the late round. He could punish B very harshly here if they're not paying attention to him on that main staircase.
He definitely could, and I think he just might as he's pushing down them and just waiting to find somebody at the bottom of those stairs. My big worry is if that's Dodo, before he's able to break those hatches, it's going to hurt them so much, and that's exactly what happens. He picks up Dodo, and he was able to open up those hatches before he went down. They still have secondary hard breaches in the pocket of Haribo, but that's not going to be able to be utilized as he's already pushing down those blue stairs. Loki gets one and then gets a second one, and Hazard just managed to pick up a trade there at the very end, but that was nowhere near enough in a 1 versus 4, and the round will go once again to Make Your Destiny, who finish up their opening half at a 5-1 split, and B Sports are now going to have to be perfect for the remainder of this half to be able to put themselves into a win, to be able to translate this into a win. They do not want to put Make Your Destiny onto match point, as that will just give them such a big advantage. They want to win as many rounds here as possible, win this in regulation. At best, you know, worst case scenario, they take it to overtime, they win it there, but they do not want to start out at a disadvantage here.
Yeah, I want to commend MID on their defenses here. They've adapted every single time. This has been so good. How diligent they were on bringing different strats, not doing the same thing twice. They got punished once on Jim, and B was able to get away with one round. They snuck one round in, but overall, Make Your Destiny, they are able to play around their opponents so well. They know what B are doing. They know that B like to go for slow clears, and they just play their angles properly. They have some advantageous angles. They just wait for B to peek into them, kill them, pick them off, and then just wait for a very weak execute in like a 3v5 or a 4v5 to come through that they can just clamp down on. And in this very last round, we could see the adaptation from Make Your Destiny. They went downstairs the first time and completely bunkered. They didn't roam whatsoever. They just let B waste their own time by clearing top floor and first floor without any presence from the defenders. The second time around, we could see that B's top floor take wasn't as decisive because they thought that Make Your Destiny might do the same thing. They might not roam again, but they did. They had a guy above, and then after he was caught out, they thought they were clear. They thought they were home free. We got Fiasco. That's the guy that's usually, you know, on the front lines for MYD, but no, Lasmo was hiding, and he's able to be the big factor in the round. He's able to be the one that's able to punish from that top floor lurk. And so Make Your Destiny doing different things across the board, and every single one of them has been working out so far, simply because I feel like they have a very good read of their opponents here.
I think you're definitely right about that, and you know, Hunter on this roam as well, just waiting for maybe somebody to push into him, not being too aggressive, not quite roaming on that top floor. He was a little bit ago, but as those drones are coming in, he of course had to rotate around and not give too much away right at the start. Now just lurking on those main stairs, sort of edging on them, not really sure if he wants to push up, if he wants to stay down. Obviously doesn't want to give away that first pick yet again, but wants to be aggressive, wants to challenge onto them, and wants to make Your Destiny a little bit uncomfortable. But
yeah, so far MID just really not shaken by anything B have done. B have done some cautious little peeks here and there, but they've fallen back. And so you say that they're aggressive and they're trying to challenge MYD here and there, but they're very frightened of giving away that opening pick. They saw how much it hurt them on the attack, and they don't want to continue that trend on the defense. And so they're playing very passively, which on defense I think is a good strategy. You can bunker down here. We saw Make Your Destiny work that out completely. I mean, they figured it out entirely. It was a flawless round. Nothing wrong for MYD. And so if B can do the same thing, we just let the timer tick down, we just don't get any picks, we just wait for them to execute and then punish that. That can work well, but at the moment it's just MID stalling in a similar fashion, just trying to go through a lot of utility for B, and B just trying to hold on to any control that they have.
Yeah, B of course having to hold on to the bomb site and not allow anything to happen in a similar fashion to what we saw in that second or that third round back when Make Your Destiny were defending this bomb site 5v5 with only about 30 seconds to go. This is the way that this bomb site usually ends up playing out, and now with that hatch open, the diffuser, rotate it around through the players, and a collapse is going to start. They are inside of the bomb site. They are going for the plant. Baby Shark blind, but going for that plant, and I don't think the B are even aware of that. Garen, the warden, the one that could have countered that, wasn't aware of it. Now with the bombs down, so many trades coming out both ways. Man count equalized at 3-3. Hunter tried to go for, or that was Haribo trying to go for the diffuser, but of course he got shut down from those top floor angles, and there goes Lasmo shutting down Dodo, who tried to go upstairs to maybe counter that. Hunter trying to bait on that diffuser, but so many angles are being covered, and they're not going to be caught out in that bait. They're just waiting for those sound cues. They're waiting for him to actually stick it, and there we go. That's Fiasco from a top floor angle, a vertical angle. So difficult to counter, especially when you're on that diffuser. The round going to MYD. They put themselves on match point now, or on map point rather, and B Esports are struggling on their map pick. This is their map pick. They started out on the side that is the most advantageous so far in Talent League, is about 57% attacker sided. So this really should have been B's map from the get-go, but they've just not been able to find their footing at all, apart from that one round that went their way. But they're really just not able to recover from the damage that MYD put up in those first few rounds.
Yeah, and again, I have to commend MYD, because what we saw in this round, it looked, I can guarantee you, it looked a little scrappy. There was a lot of trades happening, but Make Your Destiny were firmly in control of that entire execute. They executed 5v5 exactly the way they wanted, used all their utility properly, and got that plant down with the player from bottom main running through Ashwall and planting next to that pillar. That's a very favorable diffuser spot nowadays. It's pretty much considered default, because the actual default spot underneath the hatch isn't as favorable anymore. A hatch drop is quite risky when you don't have church control, and church control is very hard to get nowadays, because you have to open the church wall, and then you need to stick a guy on bottom main, and you kind of need to pinch from blue, otherwise these people in church can just move around wherever they want to. And so there's so many steps involved with taking church. Church is such a bunker of a bomb site. Just try and go around it, and that's exactly what they did with this execute. Not too uncommon to see, but executed at such a refined state. That's impressive to see.
I could not agree more, and I couldn't have said it better myself. That it was very, very impressive from Make Your Destiny what they did, and it definitely shows the experience.
Cheeky shotgun.
B being a little bit aggressive here. That's Dodo with the SAS shotgun. Oh, he can just see the top of the sledgehammer, but he can't actually get the kill onto Baby Shark, who's still just droning him actively, of course, on this gym and bedroom bomb site. They decided they were not going to try, you know, test their fate back on the basement bomb site. They decided that this is probably their best chance of getting some round wins and get themselves still in this game. But Make Your Destiny are just so quick to open up all of these walls, and the opening pick once again going MYD's way is Baby Shark. It takes down Dodo. They were V2, they were scrapping up here instead of Logi, where through the hatch, you know, they were scrapping with each other. And well, Dodo, who I really had faith in that little cheeky angle, could not manage to stay alive, and he got opened up first, which really blows this round wide open for Make Your Destiny. But Hunter here is still playing on top of the red stairs, trying to hold off any push coming up from the CCTV side. Fiasco could be getting caught here in a crossfire setup between Garen and Hunter. Halfway point through the round has come and gone. Baby Shark already has control of Logi, and there we go. There goes the shutdown. Garen was waiting patiently and got his pick, but Baby Shark is basically inside of sight. Takes down one. Will they take down one on the Haribo as well? And now it's a 2 versus 4. Make that 1 versus 4, and that's the round over. That is the map over. B were just not able to find anything in this game, anything in this map. They get themselves taken down, and well, the map rather is over. Despite it being their pick, it goes the way of MYD, and well, now MYD with the 1-0 lead will be going on to Skyscraper and could just be taking a significant lead here, maybe even putting themselves into the grand finals. But of course, we'll have to see at least Skyscraper to see about whether we can actually confirm that.
Yeah, an incredible rise from Make Your Destiny. I wouldn't have expected it to be so one-sided. I'm very, very surprised by that. But at the same time, I have to commend MID, because They played that map down to a T. Everything they did was perfect. They gave away one round, and to be fair, B did play that round very well with the crossfires. B's crossfires on attack, when they were there, they were good. But getting into those positions was very difficult for B because they were shut out at every corner because MID was just so in control of every single power position and every single piece of map control that they needed to find their win condition. And isolating the win condition for Make Your Destiny was so easy because they nearly always had the advantage. And so we'll throw it back and give it over to Chaka, who will analyze with us that map faster than we would have expected. But we'll get you in. And so, Chaka, what do you think about that game?
I wasn't really too sure what to think. I thought that would have been a lot closer. Especially for B Esports, considering that was their map pick, like you guys had mentioned towards the end of it. And I was kind of agreeing with most of what both of you were saying for the very first 4 rounds, Reapers, especially B Esports, very slow to attack and Make Your Destiny just countering them every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say the other 2 attacks that we saw were pretty decent from B. They finally found some sort of rhythm to get into the game, but it might have been too little too late because we've already got 4 rounds on the board, and Make Your Destiny we're just making a complete mockery of them. So just what do you do in this situation? B couldn't fight back into that game. I think it was over before it really started, just like it was with most of those rounds.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like especially competitive Siege, a lot of people don't really take into the to the side of the mental aspect of Siege. And you can tell towards the end of it, B especially were mentally exhausted. They kept losing opening picks round after round after round. Make Your Destiny were doing a lot of good adjustments, even when they were winning rounds, and you would think, well, some teams just don't need to do adjustments, or some teams do over adjust and they end up losing those rounds. For Make Your Destiny, they were just making like small little adjustments here and there, doing the exact same strategy, but then having some extra outlier that would throw B off. And I thought that was pretty interesting to watch, especially from a team like Make Your Destiny, who, when I watched them in a qualifiers for Titan series, they struggled in the very first game that I cast, and to see them all the way here in the semifinals against the team who's participated in many tier 4 events, it's kind of surprising to see them take Clubhouse 7-1. But I kind of want to talk about a round in particular, and that was the round that I was talking about with Make Your Destiny having that small little adjustment to their lineup, not their lineup, but to their strategy on basement, while having that extra little outlier. Was round 6, and we saw the Jaeger and Bathroom going on drone retro.
Yeah, that was a really big mistake that B made, and I think that they would have probably been in a really good position to actually take that round, because after they managed to clear out the Azami upstairs as well, they had pretty good pacing overall through the round. They had the Habana going for those hatches. They still had the Ying in play. They were setting themselves up for a really good position there, and I think that could have gone their way, because if you remember, in the first time that they were attacking that bomb site, it really came down to whether or not they won the gunfights, and they lost them that time. So I think at this point, they maybe would have had a little bit more confidence, maybe would have been in a better position. But yeah, that player getting misdroned and just being able to flank down, kill the Habana before she was really able to do any damage onto those hatches or make any sight lines. The only other hard breacher being the secondary hard breach charges of Ying, who was so far away from hatches to even, maybe try and rectify that really killed that round before they really even had a chance to do any sort of execute, because, well, the execute just didn't exist at that point because they lost the most crucial operator in that position, and they just were never able to recover from that. And that is a really basic mistake that you really don't expect teams to be making at this point in time, this far into the league. I mean, this is a semifinals. They are battling here for the position to go up against T1 teams in the grand finals, whether it's Heroic or TT9, it doesn't really matter. So for them to be making such basic mistakes, it really is an issue for it to be this deep into the tournament.
We'll just have to look ahead towards Skyscraper. Reminder, B Sports picked into Clubhouse. They lose it 7-1. Make Your Destiny have Skyscraper up next. Will they take the series 2-0, or will B Sports be able to make a turning point in a very second map? Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll throw it to a 5-minute break. You guys get some water. I'll be watching you to make sure you're well hydrated. We'll be back soon.
Where is it written that all our dreams must be small ones? Where is it written that all our dreams must be small ones?
We're back with our second map of Skyscraper, but we actually have the game going on. I'm still Chaka, this is still reprints, this is still retro, and I'm just gonna throw it straight to you guys, right into Skyscraper. Good luck out there.
All right,
Thank you.
we're doing the Deskin speedrun mode. We're doing it about as quickly as MYD rolled over their opponents on the very first map. So very quickly, we're getting into the second map and into the ban phase. And so we'll see what the bans are for this map. They've had an impact on the last one. MID controlling the game entirely, and a Ying ban comes out from B. They didn't really like the execute that came through from Make Your Destiny on basement. Just choosing to adapt and taking out that operator, because we did see MID do like that operator, and I think that rings true not just for Clubhouse, but just kind of in general. They really seem to like flashing their opponents. And so taking that off the board, Monty, next one to go. I mean, Monty on Skyscraper, yeah, there's a lot of hard walls, there's a lot of corners and a lot of long sidelines that Monty can really take some control of and really push forward in. So taking that off the board is going to make it exceedingly difficult to push, for instance, Black Balcony correctly to get control of Black Stairs. And so, second ban coming in for Make Your Destiny, they take out Fenrir. All right, the newest operator off the board.
Yeah, the newest operator. He's been very interesting so far. If you've seen any games that have had Fenrir on the board, he is very, very, very interesting. We did get to see him a little bit throughout that Clubhouse game. I don't think his gadget really came to fruition all that much, or really came to light all that much, just because of well, at least not on stream, because we couldn't really see it happen too much. But also, B was just getting shut down left, right, and center, so we really didn't get to see him. But he's definitely very, very interesting, and I'm not surprised at the fact that he's getting banned quite a lot. He's one of the most banned operators so far in this league, right alongside Solus, who does manage to survive this ban phase. But very, very interesting to see him get off the board, and of course the bans finished by the Mira ban, who of course is also not too fond of an operator for a lot of teams, and especially for Skyscraper. I mean, she can completely make a lot of sites and the map itself completely unattackable and in a lot of setups. So unsurprising to make your Destiny or the Bees for my apologies. I wanted to get rid of her and just not even have to worry about her throughout this matchup.
Yeah, right, and as you pointed out, we see it. Fenrir gets banned, which immediately means Garen, he's on the Solus. If you ban one, the other one's still gonna get picked out because these new operator additions have all been really, really strong on the defense. Not so much on the attack, but on the defense, these past few operators, I mean, Azami is a complete game changer. She can make cover anywhere. Solus is a complete game changer because it's essentially IQ on defense, which works entirely differently and is a lot more powerful and very versatile. And she brings a lot of utility. She has an SMG-11 in pocket, so you can bring a shotgun if you want, or you have a P90, which is loads and loads of pre-fire, even if it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And then you have Fenrir, who has 5 of these gadgets, which essentially work kind of like Ela mines, kind of like other traps like Legion. They give you info, they harm the attacker's lines of sight and their ability to see. And he's so versatile with activating and deactivating them. Just every single defense operator has been a hit in terms of changing the meta entirely for Siege in the recent few months. And so it's not surprising to see them banned out and picked.
Yeah, definitely could not agree more. And Garen already taking care of a lot of that utility, a lot of that drone utility. 2 of those drones now gone for the side of Make Your Destiny. Of course, they still have quite a bit of it left, and with all of their players still alive and going, and of course, having the clones of the Iana as well to get a lot of information, it's not that big of a deal, but even without taking care of a lot of that information, or a lot of those information-based gadgets, still having the information of where exactly this push is coming from, and the first pick will come once again for Make Your Destiny. They're so good at finding that opening kill. Loki onto Hazard. That means that all of those magnets will go down with him. The Wamai will not be able to protect that shield any longer, and Loki is on a tear as he takes down Garen as well. 3 versus 5 now for B to try and hold on to this bomb site as best as they can. The Geisha wall has been opened. This shield is now completely vulnerable as there's a shortage of magnets to protect it. One grenade will come out. 2, 3, they all come out. The shield goes down, and so does Hunter. 2 versus 5 now for Haribo, and Dodo still the only players left on the board. There goes a beautiful swing. He gets one. He gets the second one. Dodo manages to regain a little bit of that control for his team, but there's still so much time on the board for Make Your Destiny to win this round and to put this run in on the board for themselves. Of course, the diffuser now not in their control anymore. They're going to be in a bit of a disadvantage. Hard, taking a lot of damage as he's getting challenged from inside of drums. KJ Shark trying to get a swing on. Fiasco right beside him. Meanwhile, Yuka putting pressure on from inside of Geisha. Here comes a swing. Here comes a beautiful coordination, but they lose a little bit of that timing there. And Fiasco will find the final one just as Yuka finishes Dodo. The round going Make Your Destiny's way. They almost had that. They really almost had that, but they just were not able to hold on to that at all after they lost so many players right off the bat.
Yeah, now this is starting to look scary for anyone rooting for B because we are just seeing Make Your Destiny continuing exactly what they did on Clubhouse. It was the opening picks from Loki where him getting into a position that he should not be in at a time that he definitely should not have control of that. He just walks into drum, gets a kill, goes back out, and finds another fadeaway kill on the way back out. And so there's no punishment of taking that map control. There's not even any information that there's somebody in that spot. And Make Your Destiny, despite losing some players in the mid-round off of a beautiful play from Dodo, they're still able to keep it together because they've had loads and loads of time to work through what they wanted to do in that 3v2. They could just drone, they could figure out where these players were, and they used that sledgehammer beautifully with a player behind it to lock that smoke into a corner. Suddenly the smoke was trapped. He couldn't move an inch without being shot in the hands or the feet. He had a tiny little bit of cover and he was stuck behind it. And the moment Dodo goes down, suddenly everyone can collapse on the last guy. And so Make Your Destiny continuing that team play, continuing that oppressive playstyle that they've pushed against B over and over again. And again, I have a feeling that they really must have looked into how B plays simply because they know exactly how to counter them. They know exactly how B play and they know exactly what they need to do to dismantle them.
Yeah, that definitely looks that way. And Esports first on their map pick back on Clubhouse and now not on their map pick. still struggling just as much, but Dodo gets an early advantage by taking out not one but two of those Selmas, tricking them very, very successfully and rotating all the way around to Geisha to maybe try and trick the last one, but I don't think he's going to have time. Geisha wall will get opened up, but with that pressure now slowed down or stopped completely from the exhibition side, it could still give them, if not an advantage in terms of man count or in terms of utility, it will give them a time advantage as it will force Make Your Destiny to enter this side of the map in different ways than just through that breach that they could have made.
Okay, we're playing the same side again. This time around, I don't think we should see Loki getting away with the same thing he did last time. So Make Your Destiny has to bring something else. B, they've decided to go back to the same bomb side because they thought, well, the first time we were caught unaware, let's just do this again. Let's roll it back, run it one more time. And this time around, we'll just make sure we don't make the same mistakes, and then Make Your Destiny are going to struggle. And at the moment, it's looking like B's plan is working out, because MYD is just slowly taking a bit of map control over on that east side, but they're just waiting to go through utility, they're droning, they're taking a much slower approach, and this is burning time that is crucial in the late round for B, as so far, MYD haven't been under much time pressure, as Fiasco's actually able to find a nade kill. Doesn't get that shield, but he is able to find the player behind it, and Loki's able to push up and find a second player as well, as Dodo goes for a trade onto Baby Shark. And so we still have man advantage for MYD. Trade has come back through from B, but with a minute on the board, there's still loads of time for Make Your Destiny to play with, and they still have that advantage.
But yeah, they have that man advantage, they have the people, they have the utility, of course they have the time. Hazard will be the next one to go down. Dodo, again, with the trade, really, really good of him to be in a position to be able to get those trades, but he really shouldn't be the only one doing this. That this really should not be something that's falling onto his shoulders, and the man advantage shouldn't be slipping away from them so much now as Osmo finds Garen. There goes Dodo, now on a sliver of HP, is able to once again find that trade, but now he's sort of stuck inside of Geisha. The two of the other players, of the remaining attackers, are pushing into the T-bomb site. Fiasco is going for the plant, and Dodo will have to give himself away as he rotates through Drum. Of course, they're going to know where he is now. There comes the swing. Beautiful counter swing from Dodo as well. He gets one, but Loki has a significant HP advantage against him now, and Dodo has no information about his current whereabouts. He's just swinging around, pre-firing everything he can. 30 seconds on that diffuser clock for him now. Very low HP. He sprints straight into Loki's crosshairs. Make Your Destiny take another one. Unbelievable. Really, really good job there from Dodo. He almost, I think that would have been an ace there as well if he had been able to get the Ash at the end. But that really is another example of not just B getting absolutely split open and split apart by Make Your Destiny, but also them relying too heavily on only one player or only certain positions to be working out. They were relying heavily on that east side of the map, wasting as much time as possible with them not being able to get that breach open. Then they were relying heavily on that shield, and then when all of those players died, they were relying strictly onto Dodo, who, if you remember right at the beginning of the round, was able to trick the ace charges on the exhibition wall, or on the office wall rather, to waste that time to begin with. So he was really the star player of that round, and him being really the only contributor to the kill count on the side of B, but also him being the only player that's really getting those swings on and putting that pressure on to Make Your Destiny is really just another mistake in a sea of mistakes that we see being made.
I mean, I'm heartbroken for Dodo. That would have been an ace clutch, and he played it as well as he could. But the problem is that Make Your Destiny just had too much of an advantage there, and he ended up being on 1 HP, so he's not able to close it out. He just doesn't have the information, he doesn't have the position to play around. And so Make Your Destiny, despite losing a lot of players to that one hero play from Dodo, and so well played from him, it's just not enough, because B might have hero plays, and they might have the solo performance from Dodo, but at the moment, they literally have nothing else. We'll see how that changes across, the coming few rounds, but this is something that I see B struggling with a lot. They have hero plays. They don't play together, and this is why Make Your Destiny is rolling over them so much. This is why Make Your Destiny is able to find advantages and is able to keep advantages so much more often than B. because Make Your Destiny is playing the team game. They're playing around one another, and Fiasco might be their star player, and he might be the one that's getting a lot of kills, but, I mean, Loki is getting a bunch of kills on the side that we don't notice, simply because he's going for trades, he's going for utility kills off of information, and he's getting all of this impact, while Fiasco is technically the star player, and even Fiasco plays for trades. And, I mean, I say he goes for trades, but this time around he gets caught out by Hazar. Again, just caster curse strikes once again. So be
Yeah, it
able to find
does.
the opening pick. This is one of the first times that we see, one of the only times I think in this entire matchup, including map 1, that we've seen B get an opening pick here. This is going to be very important. When they've had the opening pick on Clubhouse, they were able to convert it. The question is, are they able to do it here?
Yeah, that is really the question, and the clock that's ticking down for them as well. Halfway point through the round has been reached and has gone as well. Hazard being very, very aggressive on that single wall instead of mini bar. Meanwhile, Garen, just as you said, they're playing very solo games. They're not playing very team games, so Garen is all by himself on a very, very deep roam. We saw Hazard being inside of the drum room as well, which is where he got that pick. Being alone, and again, it worked out for them here, but it still could be a bit of trouble. But now Yuha will find Garen, who was that roamer. I was just about to mention how Garen could be finding some success from that roam if they're not expecting it, but they had the information that they needed, and there goes another swing. Wow, Hazard tried to bait them out a little bit, but Blasmo is there with 1 and 2. Dodo still trying to find something. Hunter, the only remaining defender, getting taken down, and now Dodo once again having to clutch up for his team. The plant will go down once again. 1 versus 3. This time he has more HP to count for. I do believe a couple of those Kona stations are still alive for him to manage to heal himself a little bit more should he lose any HP, but that clock is dwindling down. And he will get taken down. Yuha's there with a beautiful pre-fire, beautiful swing. It's the Thatcher. The round will go MYD's way yet again, and B Sports are just not able to find their footing at all. 3 consecutive rounds lost once again. I don't even know how many that is. 6, 7 from if we include the previous map as well. They are in free fall currently, and Make Your Destiny have no intention of stopping that at all.
I think we're 6 rounds in a row at the moment for Make Your Destiny, because the one round that B was able to win was when they found their first round on the board, and so far their only round on the board across these 2 maps, which was the 4-1 split and Clubhouse. It was one good round that they had, but at the moment, I mean, again, my heart continues to break for Dodo. Just give this man some help. He needs some help.
Really?
It's shattering to see that he's the only one that's been able to consistently find picks, and I'm wondering why. What is the issue here? Other than, of course, what we've pointed out already, you know, Garen going for a solo roam, getting caught out. There's nobody to trade him. There's nobody to play around it. And so far, there's 2 players on B that have found the scoreboard. Dodo with 7. He is trying, but it's not enough. And Hazar has found 1. We have still 3 donuts on the board, and Make Your Destiny is decisively on control of this map, just as they were on the last.
Yeah, they are definitely in control of this. They are in the driver's seat, and they really are only growing more confident as the game goes on. You know, maybe in the first couple rounds on the previous map, they were still a little bit shaky, still trying to, okay, well, maybe that was a bit of a fluke. Maybe we should be a little bit more, you know, maybe we should settle ourselves a little bit. But now, at this point, when they've won so many rounds, and the rounds that they lost weren't even close, wow, Dodo finding that opening pick yet again with the UMP 45 onto Lasmo, the star player that we were just talking about, or one of the star players on the side of Make Your Destiny. But as I was saying, is that Make Your Destiny, despite losing that opening pick, continued to be very, very comfortable in their seat and recognizing, okay, we lost the hard breacher, but it's still not over. We still have so much utility, so many players, and we're still in this round, and they're taking up this space as well down here inside of the restaurant. Loki will find the trade onto Dodo, and now this could really be trouble for B Sports, especially because they lose Haribo as well. Logic Bomb will get deployed. That will surely give away some of the rest of these defenders. One of them still trying to hold on upstairs. Garen will find a trade onto Baby Shark, but there goes Loki, just patiently waiting for Hunter, who peeks into him. Haribo, and unfortunate disconnect there as Fiasco will find Hazard with a grenade. Garen from inside a pantry will find another one to Loki, the only player this round to be able to find any kills. 1 versus 2 for him now. So much time. Still information is there for him. Of course, behind that bomb chest, he's not really able to find an angle. And there goes a grenade getting deployed onto him as well. Doing so much damage onto Fiasco. Unbelievable. He hasn't killed him. There he goes. Makes it a 1 versus 1 from unbelievable advantage to Make Your Destiny had. There comes the hatch drop as well from Yuha, who has the HP advantage. Garen just trying to hold on for as long as possible in this round. Waste his time. Yuha, of course, still has information. Still has one more of those Talonite shields as well to protect himself should he retrieve the diffuser and try to maybe go for a plank. I'm not really sure where the diffuser is at the moment, but those cameras that are inside are spotting the final attacker, so Garen has the information. He's just moving around trying to bait Yuha into his crosshairs. He's just moving, waiting for him. Yuha not really with enough information to do anything. Garen going for a little bit of a break on the wall. Here we go with the swing. Oh my god, it's Yuha that finds it! Wow.
I'm
Unbelievable.
It continues to be the hero plays for B that are the only thing that are keeping them in these rounds, that are keeping these rounds close. We've seen one from Dota, we've now seen one from Garen, but so unfortunate. The heartbreak again, they lose the 1v1 one more time, another time that a near clutch evades them as Make Your Destiny is able to just about hold on. And at this point, I have to question, is this game already over? I mean, the mental game for B must be absolutely in the bin. They shouldn't be found anywhere in the mental game. This is over. I mean, how do you get back into this? You have nothing. You have nothing. Make Your Destiny is rolling over you, and all you have is a few multi-kills from an individual. From one round to another, there's no team play. There isn't really any cohesion between these players. I don't see a lot of trades, and Make Your Destiny is getting free picks just across the map, anywhere on the map, and whenever one of them dies, they immediately trade for 2 more. And how the hell does B continue to hold against that? It's 4-0 again. This is what Make Your Destiny scoreline was like on defense on Clubhouse. So it seems like it doesn't matter the map, it doesn't matter the side. Make Your Destiny is firmly in control of this game. They are making, and yet again, I'm saying this for the third time. Third time's the charm. They're making a mockery of B right now.
Yeah, they really are, and it really is baffling, really, to see the esports struggle this much, considering that they've had a pretty good run so far throughout this tournament, and they've really not let too much slide. And in fact, I think a lot of people went into this matchup thinking that Make Your Destiny were going to be the disadvantaged team, just considering the way that they actually ended up in the playoffs. These two teams, you know, B Esports ended up basically winning their entire group. They only ended up losing to Myth, who knocked out TT9 as well, or who got knocked out by TT9 rather. And you know, Make Your Destiny got into the playoffs on the back of a dropout of another team. So a lot of teams probably thought that, you know, well, this is going to, at the very least, going to be a close match, but it's really just not been. It's not been even close. And as you said, there's really only one player doing anything on the side of B Esports. And I hate to be so critical about a team and say, okay, you need to get some kills, but there comes a point where you seriously need to. I mean, the you know, general team composition of a lot of teams is they have 2 entries, they have 2 flexes or 1 flex, and then they have a couple supports as well. And the opening pick once again will go the way of Make Your Destiny. It's a knife onto their star player. It is the Nook against the Solus. How does this even happen? It should be the other way around. Because the Solus should have information. Loki will find another one at the Hunter. They are once again in complete freefall. Loki, so close to maybe getting a kill there through the wall as well into Hazard, but I don't think he has the information. There comes a drone bait. Baby Shark taking so much damage, but not enough really to take him down. Hazard now as well taking a little bit of damage. I think that might have been from him running through the walls. He might be getting challenged onto as well. He does get challenged onto. I believe that was a grenade from below, and there goes the shutdown. They are playing
Loki!
this perfectly. It's a quad for Loki. He's only 1 away from the ace. Gavin now all alone. 1 versus 5. He'll find 1, but still so much time. They have sight control. They have the diffuser in hand, and there goes the ace from Loki. Make Your Destiny win this round, but not even 90 seconds had gone past. I really didn't even get to discuss the fact that they picked onto this bomb site again. The fact that B Esports are going to have to try and defend this a little bit better. Make Your Destiny take a significant lead 5 rounds deep. And B Sports have zero answers to anything that has come out from Make Your Destiny throughout both maps.
I'm sorry, what? Loki is 12-2. He's leading the charge with a 6.0 KD at the moment. And to start off an ace with a knife kill, and to end it with an entry into sight and to shut out the last player over on drum side. I mean, what a round. I was saying how Make Your Destiny are really good at team play, but you don't need team play. You need Loki. Just give Loki a gun, give him a knife as well, because that seemed to help. And then just let him go. Let him rip around out of nowhere and just completely tear through B. And I've said during the quick tech timeout, when it was 4-0, at what point is this over? Because B must be out of this game completely. These rounds have been heart-shattering. These rounds have been close because of individual performance, but there's no real cohesion and there's no way for B to answer to anything that Make Your Destiny is doing. And they continue making it worse.
I really have no idea what's happening at this point. This is really uncharacteristic for B Esports to be struggling this much. I mean, yes, lose a round or two here and there, lose a map or two here and there, but to be struggling to this extent, it really is unheard of for a team like them. I have to say this. I think that Loki might have gotten a little bit offended earlier when you were calling Fiasco and Lasma the star players. He was like, hey, what about me? Watch me the ace and start it off with the knife. But B Esports struggling, and they're trying to counter that struggle with being very, very aggressive, going up for these spawn peaks as well. Still going up for these spawn peaks. Hazard, unbelievable that he's still alive. And unbelievable that he didn't actually manage to find the kill there. There goes a run out, and it's immediately punished. Baby Shark is there just by happenstance. Dodo getting shut down. Baby Shark will shut down Hazard as well. 3 versus 5. We haven't even gotten to past 45 seconds in the round. Garen blind, having to run away. Yuha inside with the blitz. Hunter will get taken down. There goes another one. Garen all to his own. Gets shut down as well. It's a flawless round for Make It Destiny. Flawless round to put them on match point. It was a joke of a match or of a round as well. It was a blitz. It was an Amaru. It was just complete chaos coming up from them. It's the stuff that you see when a team is 3-0 in ranked. It's not something that you see in a competitive match in the semifinals of Talent League. But Make Your Destiny are aware of the fact that they can do this, that they can get away with it, because B Esports cannot counter it. They haven't been able to counter anything that Make Your Destiny have provided them so far.
Every time I think they've put the nail in the coffin, they add another nail. How many nails are in this coffin at this point? How many times can I state that this game is over? Because, I mean, yes, there is technically a chance for B to fight back into this. We have a half switch, but it's 6-0. B have not put up a cohesive round so far throughout the entirety of this matchup. There was one halfway decent round on Club where they were able to utilize their crossfires, but that started out with an opening pick that was off of a player going for a solo fight, going for information by himself. And Make Your Destiny is such a well-oiled machine. They continue to just bring new playstyles, and they continue bringing just new approaches to this game with every single round they play. They don't do the same thing twice. And they're giving B absolutely no room to breathe. There is zero room to breathe. First, it's a bunch of different kills. It's a 1v1 that goes into the favor of Make Your Destiny twice. And then we've had an ace from Loki, who's putting himself on the board, still 12-2. And I was considering, I think I might have cursed it just by thinking about it, but I thought, Make Your Destiny, all of these guys have been performing, all of these guys have been doing well, because they've been playing around one another. And the only guy that I haven't noticed was Baby Shark, simply because I think he's mostly droning. There's a run out with a pistol coming through from Loki. Okay, now you're getting cheeky. Garen's able to take him down, not gonna allow that. So, Loki's still top frag, but not gonna find any more in this round. As the breach gets opened over in Geisha side by B as well. And B, they have a man advantage. They can maybe convert this round. But the question is, how do you look at this in the long term? You can see everyone on Make Your Destiny is playing Iron Sights. They're all playing. They're not even trying anymore. This is bullying.
Yeah.
This is straight up bullying.
Oh, but B are able to find another one as Dodo finds one on Baby Shark. But no, they're just getting shut down immediately. Fiasco will go down as well. It's a 2v3 now for the side of Make Your Destiny. They got a little bit too aggressive. They got punished for it as well. But now, so much time still left on the clock for B Esports. They could finally find a round here. It would really be a shame to see them go out in a 7-0 fashion. I mean, that's really not something that you see often. Dota will find another one to B, and there goes Hunter to find one onto Yuha. The round finally goes the way of B, but that was too long of a time to be without a round. I mean, at this point, it's a good opening, but so many rounds have gone without a win from them, and that was I don't want to discredit B too much because they were there to get those counter spawn peaks and to get those trades, but it really was on the back of Make Your Destiny just goofing around, and as you said, just playing this like it wasn't what it is, which is Talent League semifinals. They were just goofing around, and no doubt they will get serious. They will bunker down and win this round, or maybe not win it, but they will definitely play it a lot more seriously now. So B Esports have to not only play it seriously as well, but they have to be completely flawless for the rest of this half, especially because they entered it at the most significant disadvantage you possibly could, at a 6-0, and well, it's either going to be, a continuation of them winning and potentially taking it into overtime, or it will be another 7-1, maybe 7-2 closeout from Make Your Destiny.
Yeah, Make Your Destiny, I mean, they overstepped their territory here. B was able to punish that. I mean, at this point, you're leaning out the window way too far. You're falling down just out of the window onto the floor. But it's still 6-1. And yes, it feels kind of pointless to say, but I still want to point out that a game isn't over until it's over. And that is the one thing that B can cling on to. It is not over until it's over. You play round by round, and there's always an opportunity to fight back into it. But at this point, Make Your Destiny, they consider this game to be over. They've been celebrating already, so they just need to make sure they're focusing up for one round. They get one good defense in on Skyscraper. Within the next 5 rounds, they have so many opportunities to close this out. And when they've been taking it seriously, they've been rolling over B. They've given B absolutely no into these rounds. And the only time they did is when they were all playing Iron Sights. And so I'm very worried for B. I still think this is over. It continues to be over, and it will be over until Make Your Destiny win, and then it's really going to be over, because this match has been very one-sided. And at the moment, Loki able to find another opening pick. He's been going for these aggressive engagements here on Skyscraper, and he finds another onto a player on display window. They're trying to firebolt them out. The main breach is open as well, but no, Fiasco gets another as Baby Shark gets naded. And so man advantage still for MYD, as 1:40 is on the board. And now B, they're going to struggle. They have no more firebolts. There's still 2 smoke bolts on the board, but there is also a warden to counter that. There's no more hard breaches. There's 2 EMPs, and now, oh, Fiasco. He's overextending. Hazar is able to find another on Telasmo, and suddenly it turns around for B as Loki gets tagged down to 1 HP. Loki, stop peeking. Heal. You have a stim that can put you back up to full HP. Just prone or don't peek. He peeks it. He peeks it. Loki has no respect for B, and they punish him accordingly. And now it's a 3v1 for B. A plant is coming down. Yuha's just watching the single breach on VIP. He's activating his goggles to try and see through that smoke. It's a little bit of a one-way smoke put down by Hazar. And the plant goes down, and now B, they can just try and hold on, coast through this round. They could put one more on the board, and Make Your Destiny, they continue to give some of these rounds away because I feel like they're just playing for entertainment at the moment. Dodo, there we go. He's able to shut it out. He's been so important. And he's been getting so many of these kills in Skyscraper to even make it a close affair in some of these rounds. And he continues to be of impact on B as they put another round on the board. But the question is, how long will this be sustainable? Make Your Destiny are going to focus up eventually, or they're going to troll until B go into overtime. And I don't know which of these is worse.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's not even just about whether they are able to win these rounds and put that into overtime, because I feel like that's the easier part of the challenge that is before them. It's not just about winning these rounds, because they've shown now that they can do it, and if Make Your Destiny keep, as you say, having no respect for them and keep giving away rounds for free, then it's definitely doable. It's also about the longevity that they have within themselves physically and mentally. We spoke briefly after the previous map about that mentality, and Chaka even mentioned it about how they just seem to be completely out of it mentally. And are they even capable at this point of bringing themselves back into a place where they are not mentally checked out and they are able to bring it back to not only win this map, because yeah, winning this map will definitely be really, really good for them, but that's still not the end of it, because they still have another entire theme park to go through as the decider map. And I worry for them that they don't have the mental longevity remaining within them, that mental juice still to be able to go on an entire theme park and win that out. I hope for their sake that they are able to pull themselves back in, that they are able to do that for themselves, but it's going to be such a tall order for them, and not many teams are able to come back from a loss like this.
I mean, again, it continues to be heartbreaking for the side of B. It's 2 rounds on the board now. They were able to stave off elimination twice, but how many more times is Lightning gonna strike for B? How many more times is Make Your Destiny gonna give these rounds away? Because at the moment, that's what they're doing. They're toying with their food. It's nothing more, nothing less than that. They know that they are firmly in control, and they want B to know that they are firmly in control as well. And at the moment, they're just trying to signal to them, we're gonna try and win, without even properly trying. And Fiasco, there we go, an impact comes through to knock that shield away from the Ossa, and Fiasco is able to capitalize off of that. I think that was his own impact, so really well played around that. Able to find the opening pick. That's the shield gone. You're not going to be able to put that shield down on the main breach, and so the main wall might be open, but how much can you do with it without that Ossa? Because that seemed to be an important part of B's plan in terms of taking map control and getting some sideline control. So now man advantage for Make Your Destiny. Yuha still down below, just taking a fight. He knocks Garen to the floor. Isn't able to finish that as Haribo is able to find one. And Hunar is able to find another. Garen on the floor, so technically we're in a 3v3, but should be able to get recovered at some point. Crawling out, just a little bit of time waste for Make Your Destiny, but ultimately B are in control. They have a bit of man advantage here, and they're looking to try and convert this into another round. But we still have Loki, Lasmo, and Baby Shark alive, and like I've said before, everybody on Make Your Destiny has shown up today. Everybody has been on the board every now and then. Everybody has found impactful frags, or important plays. Maybe not even frags. Sometimes it's just the drones or a nade, and all of these are important aspects to winning a game. And Make Your Destiny, they've hit all the marks up until this point, up until 2 rounds ago when they started playing Iron Sights and started swinging instead of healing. I'm not going to get over that anytime soon. But he's still man advantage, just stalling at the moment, looking to not give this away. But no, Lasmo down below, he's able to find Garen. And this could be detrimental. Loki gets tagged down to 1 HP. He continues peeking, gets taken down by Haribo. Continues to be punished. Lasmo down below, looking at that VIP breach. Baby Shark locked out of the site. As now there's a plant coming through in a 3v2 situation. 30 seconds on the board. Dodo is going to be able to stick this. There's no real denial coming through. Baby Shark trying to take a fight onto Hunar. Not able to connect onto that. And now it's Lasmo in a 1v3. And suddenly we have another clutch situation. And again, Dodo closes it out. And again, B is able to put another round on the board. And now I'm just wondering, Make Your Destiny, are you gonna, like, come on? Can we move this along a little bit faster? Because now I'm getting worried that Make Your Destiny is making mistakes that are no longer of their own volition. They're starting to make mistakes that come from maybe overconfidence. Maybe it's not really reading the situation right. You just at some point you got to close this out. This was 6-0. We're now looking at 6-3. This is a little scary. Is this going to be a lot of attacking rounds that we see on Skyscraper, or is Make Your Destiny going to start returning to their old form that we saw in Clubhouse, that we saw in the first 6 rounds of this map? So just give me something, Make Your Destiny. Just do your thing. Do what you've been doing this whole time. It's been working up until now.
Yeah, I'm definitely reminded of that one animated meme of the guy poking a stick at the other guy, being like, "Come on, do something." That's definitely what this reminds me of, where Make Your Destiny are, as you say, just toying with their food, and they're just making this go on longer than it really needs to, just because I don't know if they don't want to win it this quickly or what's really happening, but this is definitely not supposed to be going for as long as it is. And again, not to discredit B Esports at all, but a lot of these, or at least a few of these rounds, have come from the fact that Make Your Destiny just don't seem to care too much about losing these rounds. They don't seem to be too invested in winning, and they just keep peeking things that they normally may not be in, you know, a different situation where, you know, the round or the game is a little bit closer maybe. And of course, you know, we know that that's a little bit silly, and everybody knows that's a little bit silly. B might find that a little bit disrespectful, you know, it's like, oh, just beat me if you can. But also giving away that advantage or giving away a few of those rounds will put B so much closer to equalizing that score count. And now with B having so much information about the way that Make Your Destiny plays and about their site setups, they could just be able to find a couple of more of these rounds and put themselves into overtime, and then Make Your Destiny are really, really in trouble, and all because they decided to goof off for a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, at the moment, they're showing us some signs of life for B. They're just giving us some representation for the other team, because so far this has been the MYD show, but B have been able to show up here on these attacks, and they have been able to do, their due diligence and able to close out these rounds. In most of the cases, they're not giving MYD any more than they need to, and MYD is not going to get away with this. Plasmo, he's able to find a one-tap headshot onto Dodo through a long angle through two soft walls out onto the breach. And man advantage in favor of Make Your Destiny. The question is this the closeout? No, Garen's able to find one, takes a lot of damage in return. Haribo down on half HP as well. There's a lot of damage done to all of these players. And need I remind you that this is a semi-final for the Talent League Titan Series. Winner of this gets to go into the grand final against the winner of TT9 Heroic, which is happening tomorrow, by the way. And you get to play for you get to play for a bunch of money and a bunch of clout if you can win this. But at the moment, Make Your Destiny aren't making it look like that. And B are firmly in control as there's a lot of kills going back and forth. Loki's on for a double, but he's down to low HP. He has 15 kills. He's 15 and 5. But Hazar's getting the plant down. Garen is here for the cover. And with 50 seconds left, Loki, he's not able to deny that plant. So now we're in a post-plant situation. He's in a clutch situation again. And so Make Your Destiny continues to throw these rounds away. B just continuing to build their confidence, regaining some of that mental game and getting their way back into this. Maybe they can do this. If you can go from 6-0 to 6-4, surely you can just win another 2 and make it into overtime. And suddenly we have a close affair on our hands, and all because Make Your Destiny wanted to play Ironsides and jump out with a pistol. But no, Loki, he's able to find a triple for himself in the round. He's able to find one, fakes the diffuser once, but this is a tough position to play. Hazar's on the rappel, and now some more fakes coming out from Loki. He's trying to see if he can find that. Not able to connect, and now the timer has run out, so it's another round for B as Hazard goes for the swing, try and clean that kill up. And B, they found 4 in a row, and suddenly out of nowhere, after 2 maps of complete Make Your Destiny dominance, we have B in the game. They're here to play.
Yeah, they definitely seem that way, and this definitely is looking a lot more closer of a game than I definitely expected to see. I don't know if maybe somebody else watching, thought for sure that this was going to be a comeback coming up for B Esports. But yeah, this is definitely now a possible comeback. It's 2 rounds, which is not, easy, but it's definitely doable, and it's something that we've seen B Esports do before. They won 4 in a row. They could 100% do this, and then, then we're potentially going on to the decider of theme park, and that could be a whole other story, because at that point, if B Esports are able to win this map through overtime, you're putting us into a situation where B Esports are now very, very confident. They've regained their mental composure. What I said about that, whether they have the longevity or not about lasting through an entire theme park, is definitely going to be a little bit more reinforced because of the win that they could be getting here. And Make Your Destiny are going to be the ones having to make up ground after winning not only that first initial map on Clubhouse 7-1, but also basically winning Skyscraper before giving it away for free.
I'm starting to get very annoyed with Make Your Destiny, because you have to consider that the difference between getting knocked out here and going to the grand finals is just a raw difference of 150 euros. And also you get an opportunity to play a BO5, a grand final game against the winner of Heroic TT9. You get to play a big official match for quite a bit of money, because the winner of the Titan Series gets 900 euros. And that is no small sum for these T4 teams. It isn't much money for Heroic and TT9. They play with much bigger margins, and they play with much bigger prize money. But for these two, this is something that's important, and this is something that they should value, because not only is it money, not only is it representation, not only is it a grand final appearance against T1, it's also experience, and that is so important. You get to play an entire BO5, which is at least 3 maps, against a Team 1 team. That is the experience that you want, and right now, Make Your Destiny, they've had it in the palms of their hands, and instead of closing it out and going confidently into Sunday, they decide to do this. Iron sights, pistol jump outs, and it's not working for them. And now B are suddenly back in this game, and we're looking at a 4-6 scoreline. This is the most competitive that B has been this entire evening. And MYD are letting this one actively slip. Because I said it's over. It was over until Make Your Destiny decided it was no longer over. And B was like, okay, sure, we can work with this, we can roll with this. Haribo gets the opening pick. And so Fiasco goes down early. He's been a big impact for Make Your Destiny. He gets taken out, no trade coming in. Minute and 22 on the board, and B might be able to set up another execute. They might be able to just steal another round away, and then we're looking at 5-6. We'll be one round away. Baby Shark, though, putting a wrench in the works here as he takes down Hazar. Loki gets another Haribo for a trade. It's a 3v3. Suddenly with a triple kill for Haribo. Some damage done onto Shark as well. Still a minute on the board, and B slowly inching toward what is either going to be another round or the defeat. Just... you need to be able to compose yourself, need to be able to keep your nerves in this situation.
Definitely, and now in a 3 versus 3 situation, 45 seconds still left to go. Make Your Destiny are holding on to their positions for their lives at this point. The pressure is coming into the site. Garen is now inside of one of the bomb sites. There goes a beautiful pre-fire and swing from Dodo. Garen, meantime, gets Baby Shark. There comes a C4. It will catch Dodo! Garen is there, however, with the final one. B Sports win that when I got a little bit worried. I will say when that C4 came and connected, I got a little bit worried that this was going to be the closer, but no. It is round 12. It is the final round of regulation. If this round goes the way of B Sports, we are seeing overtime, which 6 rounds ago you could never convince me is actually going to be happening. And Make Your Destiny are now being forced to take in a timeout by either their IGL or their coach or whoever might have realized, hey, okay, we're letting this slip away a little bit too easily. We had this in the bag, and now it's 5 rounds later, and we're looking at a potential overtime loss, at which point they are having to completely rebuild themselves. Again, I say the mental longevity is so important in games like this. I mean, you said the experience in a best of 5. I mean, even a best of 3 is so crucial for you to actually be able to hold on for the entire time, especially in what wasn't a close matchup at all, but could end up becoming one. And then having to go all the way up into map 3. 0 information right off the bat because you don't really know how this team is going to be playing now in a completely new map, completely new soil. You don't know what kind of mental position they've put themselves in now after losing the first map and basically losing the second one, but then bringing it back. I mean, it's going to be a completely new challenge for Make Your Destiny if they let this slip away, and they just very well could.
We were nearly there. It was a 6-0. It looked like this was a one-sided affair, just like the first map. Make Your Destiny had made quick work of B. B didn't really look like themselves. They didn't really look like they were playing the game, at least in comparison to Make Your Destiny, because so far this has really been just MID performing over and over again, just playing this game to a T, bringing different things, making everything work, making different playstyles work, and B have found no answer and B have found no adaptation. And now we've gone from such a leisurely situation, from a situation where we all thought, all right, this is Make Your Destiny, they're making their statement, but suddenly this situation has turned incredibly tense because B has been on edge for the past 5 rounds. At first they thought, well, this is kind of over, but let's continue. We'll continue. We'll fight until the bitter end because that's the only real motivation and the only real mindset you can have in this situation. You go round by round. You try and win 1 or 2 more. You try and save face. You try and save your reputation by winning some of these rounds and making it a close affair. But with Make Your Destiny making some of these decisions in the early few rounds of their big match point lead, they've thrown some of these rounds away unnecessarily. Inarguably, they definitely did. This is down to MYD. They've done this to themselves. This is their own fault. They've given B an inch, and B have taken a mile. And so now we're 1 round away. B incredibly tense. They're looking to make comeback history inside of Talent League, inside of the Titan series. And if they can pull this off and get us to map 3, then, I mean, you talk about the mental is definitely going to be in favor of B at that point, Retro.
Mm-hmm. I think you're definitely right about that, and I didn't want to say it myself because Make Your Destiny could still rebuild that, but I think at this point, as you said, they're very tense. They're probably frustrated with themselves, with each other. You didn't need to peek that. You didn't need to swing that. A lot of that probably went on before the timeout, and that's could be a part of the reason why they called it, apart from just, okay, let's slow it down, let's get this. There is some information about a potential C4 kill here. There comes the swing, there comes the run, and there goes the C4. Will get blown by Loki. He will find Haribo. That's the IQ. How ironic that the IQ gets taken down by a C4 so early in the round. 90 seconds still to go for BE Sports, and now without their IQ, finding out so much of this utility is going to be so much harder. Those Valkyrie cameras, those Capcan traps, they all could still be so impactful for Make Your Destiny, and Loki is still finding himself a really crucial part of this entire game. He inching closer and closer towards a lot of these defenders, but Fiasco will find another one at the Garen. There goes a flashbang from Hazard. There goes a C4. There goes
Hazard, no!
He tried to get a knife kill, but instead he got shot down. Hunter and Dodo now in a 2 versus 4. I think we praised them too much because now it's all falling apart, but no. They find another one, immediately shut down, however, and Hunter now in a 1 versus 3 is having to find, the world is having to find a miracle. Flashbang will come out and nearly flashes himself. He finds that one onto Yuka, 30 seconds to go. The diffuser now in his control. No C4 left in pocket for Loki. He already made his impact with that one. Hunter still has a couple of those flashbangs, still has one of those Rotero drones remaining, but he has no information despite that. 2 drones still alive for him, but it's Lasmo to find the last one. Make Your Destiny finally close it out at a 7-5 fashion after it looked so possible, so doable, so winnable for BE Sports. Make Your Destiny win the matchup 2-0, and they put themselves in the grand finals for tomorrow against either TT9 or Heroic, which will be a historic matchup for Talent League.
This match has me thrown for all kinds of loops. This was the most, I think, emotionally and mentally unpredictable game. What turned from a very quick clubhouse, from a dominant performance from Make Your Destiny, into a more dominant performance on Skyscraper, into just throwaway, just free giveaway rounds that they just passed on, just continued to throw away, into a 7-5. All of that fight back for B, and it's to no avail. And when B started winning these rounds, I could see the desk with head in hands. Increasingly so with every round that slipped by Make Your Destiny. But I think this might have been their master plan. I think this is exactly what they were trying to go for. Make Your Destiny, continue making it close, and then in the very last round, they bring a Valkyrie, they bring a Capcan, they use that information and they C4 the IQ first, and suddenly the round is over. It is heartbreaking for B. It is mind-boggling for everybody on the production side, because this was an absolute roller coaster. If there ever was a roller coaster, this was a big ride up and then a very long straight fall down that was caught at the very end just before we were going to hit the ground. I mean, hey, it was really entertaining and really great to watch.
That's true.
But I don't know if I can take any more of those.
Yeah, that was definitely, it really got your heart pumping. It was one of those games where it's definitely one of those that I think regardless, it's definitely going to be one of those that we're going to talk about for a long time still to come. But if they had been actually able to pull that off and pull off that comeback, I don't think there would be a single person in this entire, competitive space, or at least this side of it, that wouldn't have been talking about that wouldn't have been talking about what MYD did and the fact that they just let that slip away. B were able to do, but instead it will just go down as a 7-1, 7-5 closeout from the side of Make Your Destiny, who I will come out and say it. They made their destiny, and they will be in the grand finals tomorrow, or on Sunday rather. And it's just I mean, you said it so many times. It's absolute heartbreak for BE Sports, who really gave it their all. I think that they left their hearts out on that Skyscraper, and I think it's gonna take a lot of comfort to get them to a point where they are able to accept a loss like that. But even though they lost, I still think that it's such a huge feat for them to even get to this point, for them to battle it out, for them to absolutely leave no rocks unturned, and they have a lot to be proud of themselves for here. It's not just heartbreak. It is also, a little bit bittersweet about the fact that they got this far, and they just weren't able to get it over the finish line.
Absolutely. Commiserations to B. The fact that their mental seemed to be unaffected after that entire performance from Make Your Destiny, and the ability that they just continue fighting onward and take it round by round, and they're able to fight these 5 rounds back, able to just go out with a bang, able to show that they're still here, and they're still, the team that I saw go through all of these different T4 leagues. But man, this game didn't leave me unaffected. I don't know how B were able to continue that game for as long as they did. And so commiserations to them. Congratulations for MYD. They nearly undid their own destiny by their own doing, but they were able to hold on just about. The 7-5 master plan. We'll talk about this for a long time, but it's make your destiny to the finals, and we'll see who has the privilege of going up against these guys tomorrow. For now, I think we'll throw it to the desk and we'll get some analysis, maybe some light into this dark room of distractive sounds and smells, because this was confusing. And this was one hell of a ride. And so, Chaka, Puffer, take it away.
Well, it certainly was a map for Make Your Destiny, as they do end up taking that victory 7-5. Commiseraries and heartbreak for BE Sports, but it is what it is. Your finalist, or one of your 2 grand finalist teams, is gonna be Make Your Destiny. The French squad not really making their way here through the actual group stages. They got here on a technicality through Team 86 not being able to play through the playoffs. So I'm actually very proud of them to make it this far all the way to the grand finals, not making it through the group stage. That's an insane achievement, Puffer.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is not only was it an insane achievement, but also an insane match that we will probably be telling even to our grandchildren, as of course. Let's actually get onto the analysis. I mean, we're here already, and let's see what happened. I mean, BE Sports, I don't want to be the one to, say it, break the ice, whatever you want to use the term for, but they got demolished. Not because of maybe them throwing or anything. MYD, aka Make Your Destiny, was just absolutely dominant in that match. Even in the first one, which was BE Sports' map, aka Clubhouse, BE Sports kind of struggled with opening picks, running in the side, kind of the lines of sight for the enemies, kind of being too split up too. So all of that coming in together, MYD just took full advantage, and it continued on to the second map as well, as MYD just had a bit of a freebie towards the first half, and then the second half it was actually looking really good for BE Sport. They managed to give themselves 5 rounds, which forced Make Your Destiny into a tactical timeout, which sadly did end up and BE Sports not being able to take it over into overtime, but still quick matches, and they were most definitely dominant. Now, there are some rounds I do want to point out. Most of them were actually really repetitive, because BE, they have been doing this kind of really repetitive thing, which is mostly relying on one player to clutch it up. I mean, round 2, 3, 4, pretty much it was always... and some rounds further, I believe, it was Garen or Dodo. They were always on a 1v1, 1vx situation, and I mean... with a 1v4, 1v3, you don't have much hope. Although they did come to a close end at some point, but relying on just one player alone, yeah, that's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I consistently saw for BE Sports. Even though they won their games against like White Tigers, they won their game against the likes of the Unlimited, had a very close game in the group stage against Smithy Sports. That was one thing that I noticed from them as well. They kind of rely heavily a lot on individual plays, and credit to them. It got them this far, just was not enough. And I mean, hey, hats off to BE Sports. They got it this far. They had a very good run, but now it's time to shine a light on another team, and it's now time to shine a light on newer players who did very well in this whole matchup. Let's not take anything away from Make Your Destiny. Sure, it wasn't the greatest of performances from BE Sports, but Make Your Destiny were solid throughout the whole day. And I'm going to be honest, I think with how well they played, they made BE Sports look like maybe that they weren't good enough on the day. And I think that is a great story in itself.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Make Your Destiny did start kind of playing with their food towards the end, as it was seeming it was a 6-1 score. They started bringing out the iron sights. Even a rush came in from the blitz, and I don't like how he really played aggressively against them. I mean, they went for spawn peaks, constant runouts. That ended up like 2-3 players already being gone very early, as they just got shut down because the rush kind of countered that aggression very easily. Now, I mean, it was things like that, and then of course the iron sights coming in from the side of Make Your Destiny, which in the end actually got them really close to going into overtime and maybe to the third map, which could have potentially been a loss, which, yeah, it's a very scary situation to deal with, but in the end, they did manage to win themselves a very nice match. And going into the grand finals, it's a very good achievement on its own, especially for Talent, for Titans Series, not Talent League, alone. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like B just didn't cut it today. Maybe they had a bad day, but you can't really blame it all on that. As Make Your Destiny, like you said, gotta shine a light on the new players.
Yeah, I just thought mainly it was just them having a good performance, not really on B not performing as well. I mean, there
Yeah.
were some negatives, but also you can just look at the positives too for Make Your Destiny, who had a really good matchup. But I'm just gonna end the disc here for now, but it's not gonna be all over yet. We actually do have an interview with, I believe this is Momoham from Make Your Destiny.
Hello? and repeated way, round after round in scrims and in matches, you've encountered everything and you've seen everything, so you behave and you are aware that anything can happen, and that's why we picked Sky, because that's one of our good maps, and the players have this experience to constantly be aware of everything, and there are very, very few moments when the enemy team can actually surprise us on those maps that we are good on.
Solid answers all around. It's been a very solid day from you guys as well. And before we actually end the interview here, cut it a little bit short. Any shout outs? You want to thank anybody? Thank the fans? Thank anybody in particular? A mother, father, brother, sister?
Well, obviously, thanks to the fans, everyone supporting us. We do this for ourselves, but also for you guys. So thank you. And once again, thank you to everyone out there in the talent league doing their job, because they like it's a bit hard and a lot of work, and it works very, very well. So thank you very much, and hope with you in another interview after the grand final.
Ooh, okay. A little bit of confidence on your side. Well, that concludes the interview there with Momohan. We're going to bring it back to the desk, and then actually, we're probably going to end the stream right here. It's going to be very, very quick, but yeah. We will see you guys tomorrow for TT9 versus Heroic. That is our second and our final semi-final matchup before we get into our juicy grand final on Sunday evening. I'll see you guys soon. It's been me, Chaka. It's been Reaperance and Retro on the microphone. It's been Puffer Bob to fill in on the second map for the analysis spot. We'll see you guys soon.